Welcome everybody to the first episode of the race to 100 mil on both RS3 and old school RuneScape. This is going to be a prologue to the series so that I can get some explaining done before we kick off the real race next week. The first thing I want to mention is that these will be brand new accounts on both old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3. The reason that I've made two new accounts is so that I'm able to play on both accounts at the same time. Now before you all go rushing to the comments saying that RS3 will obviously win this race, let me reassure you that the odds may not actually be in RS3's favor after all. Make sure to watch until the end of the video so that you can fully understand everything about this race. You see, when I mean 100 mil, I mean 100 mil in old school RuneScape terms. As 1 GP is worth more in old school RuneScape compared to 1 GP in RS3, my RS3 account is actually going to have to get the equivalent amount of 100 mil old school RuneScape on RuneScape 3. The reason that I'm doing this is that if two brand new accounts were racing to 100 mil on old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3, then RS3 would obviously win, as you can easily make more GP per hour on RS3. Before we get any farther into the video though, please make sure to like, comment, and most of all subscribe, so that I'm able to keep making these videos for you all. Your support for this channel helps me know that you all are interested in this type of content and that, like me, you're interested to see how the outcome of this series goes. When I finally finish this race, I'll also be giving away 10% of the profits of the winning account to a lucky commenter on the last video. So make sure to follow the series to know when to get your comment in to become eligible for the cash prize. So the question now is, how am I going to be able to calculate this ratio between the two versions of RuneScape? I did some digging around on Reddit to see how gold swapping clans between the two versions calculate the ratio between the two. First, a warning to those that may be thinking about swapping your gold between RS3 and old school, and vice versa, just don't do it. These clans are generally all scams and you will lose your hard-earned money. Anyways, I found out the way that most of these clans calculate the ratio is by dividing the bond price of RS3 by the old school bond price. If we take a look at the grand exchange price on the GE tracker for RS3 and the wiki price for Osrs, we can see that the bond price on RS3 is 24,275,695 as of September 13th, 2020. And on old school RuneScape, it's 4,939,277 as of September 14th, 2020, which is the recording date of this video. If we divide these two, then we get 4.915. To make this a more even number, we're going to round up and say that the ratio is 1 old school RuneScape GP to 5 RS3 GP. I realize that the bond price changes over time and that they'll definitely be constantly changing throughout the rest of this series, but for the sake of keeping things constant, 1 to 5 is going to be the constant ratio throughout the race. This means that my old school RuneScape account is going to have to get 100 mil and my RS3 account will have to get 500 mil. In my opinion, this makes the race a little bit more even between the two accounts because I don't believe that the RS3 account would be able to get too far ahead, but that's yet to be seen. The last thing I want to do in this video though is go over the rules for the race. The first rule is I must spend equal amount of time leveling up, making money, doing quests, or doing anything else on the accounts. Another reason that I decided to make two different accounts is that I'm able to level up quests and make money at the same time to save myself the trouble of doing stuff one account at a time, as I have a life and that would take forever. Another thing I'm going to personally have to look out for is the amount of attention I give to each account during the times that I'm playing them. I don't want to be focusing on one account more than the other while I'm playing them together. I need to make sure I'm actively focusing on both accounts. Second, I'll be following moneymakers that other YouTubes have put out already to see if their content is actually good, and that's really how I'm going to be making my money throughout the series. If I'm not able to find money making methods for my level or whatever videos I'll be watching, I'll be going to the wiki of both versions of RuneScape to find methods of what I'm able to do. Third, I will not be counting gear as cash. To win the race, the accounts must have the designated amount of cash instead of cash and gear. This means that old school RuneScape has to have 100 mil in cash and the RS3 account must have 500 mil in cash. I also can't just sell my gear if I'm close to the end with one of the accounts because that's kind of a cheap way of doing things. This is going to be a Monday through Friday grind for me that I'll be doing in order to complete this series. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be money making days for me, and Tuesday and Thursday will all be about grinding quests and levels to unlock new money making methods. Hopefully by money making 3 days a week I'll be able to finish this series off relatively soon. Also, I cannot take donations from outside third parties unless it's for the sake of a bond. These accounts will be free to play for the first week or two, and then they will both be gifted bonds by my main account. I wanted to keep them free to play to start just to see how money making methods on free to play compare to pay to play at lower levels. The last thing I want to mention is making money via merching on RuneScape. I will be merching on old school RuneScape for sure, but I'm not entirely sure about RS3 yet. I would love to be able to merch on both accounts, but RS3 prices are just so dynamic that it's more of a risk to try to make money off of the GE. And plus, I'm not very good merching at all, and there are more resources for old school RuneScape players with merching than RS3. These rules may be subject to change throughout the series. If you all come up with some interesting restrictions or rules down in the comments below, I would also love to hear you all's guesses on which account will win the race. Also, if you're interested in watching me grind for levels and quests on the accounts, make sure to follow my Twitch at Megabon and let me know if you're interested in seeing the account progress. That's all for this video, so make sure to be on the lookout for the start of the series next week here on this channel. Again, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.